Peace and God bless. Yah is a strong one. The strong one is Yah. He's the tree of life. He's a fountain of living waters. He's the spirit and creator of all things that live and breathe. On this particular discourse, I'm going to talk about in order, the future. In order, the future. On this particular discourse, we're going to talk about some of the things that will happen in the not too distant future on this earth. I'm talking about literal manifestations that will come from God Himself, Yah, the Holy One of Israel, that will manifest themselves on this earth. Okay, in order, the future. Well, for many of you who've been following my discourses, you probably heard some of this material before. So for some of you, it'll be new material. Some of you will be old material, okay? But please do open up your Bibles and follow along. And also just go read it yourself, okay? So you can get some wise understanding about putting your own eyes on these very, very important things that will happen in the future. As we get back to Jerusalem, okay, Zechariah chapter 13. One of the things that will happen, I'm not sure what time it'll happen, we don't know. We just know that it shall happen, okay? That a fountain, some kind of a fountain will be opened to the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. We read that here, chapter 13 of the book of remembrance in Zechariah, okay? So Zechariah 13. Listen very carefully. In that day means in the future, right? There should be a fountain opened to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. Okay? Now, this fountain will come before the temple is completed. Maybe as soon as we get there, will this fountain be opened. Okay? It is for sin and for uncleanness, open to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Because, by the Torah law and statute, when certain things happen, be it a man or a woman, you have to prepare some kind of maybe a sacrifice or something for Yah that you bring to the temple that will cause you to be deemed before the priest as what they will call clean. Okay? Because, when you're in an unclean state, you have to get yourself back to a clean state before Yah. Okay? All right? And for those who read the Torah, you know what I'm talking about. All right? Even the things we eat, the things you touch, okay, your sexual practices, whatever it may be. Okay? The woman's menstrual cycle, the semen of the male, different things like that. Okay? Those things can cause you to be in an unclean state. So you have to, as quick as you can, get yourself back to a clean state, okay? And that concerns your dieting, everything. There's many things in the Torah that can cause you to be unclean before Yah. What Yah expects you to do is to get yourself back to a clean state, okay? Even after childbirth, the woman is unclean for X amount of days, for those who know that statute, be it a male child or be it a female child, okay? After a woman's menstrual cycle, she is deemed unclean, okay? She has to get herself back to a clean state, all right? So obviously it will take time for the third temple to be erected, to be built, for it to be completed and ready for, sacrifices to be prepared to be put on the altar, because that practice is going to happen again. I already read that to you guys earlier in the book of Isaiah. It talks about all the strangers who are going to come along with us, okay? And how their sacrifices will also be accepted upon the altar, right? Along with, the regular inhabitants and the regular citizens of Israel, the Israelites themselves, all right? Okay, so that being in mind, that's what this fountain is all about. It's actually going to, remove those things from you okay? Be it man or woman, if you're in an unclean state, to get you back to a clean state until we get the third temple built. And then whenever Yah himself, you know what I mean? Whew, that's still a magnificent thing to say. When he comes, his presence comes to the third temple, into the oracle, or what they call the holies of holies, then he shall release a stream of water that'll come out of there, out of the third temple, that will certainly do the same exact thing, but on a larger and much bigger scale. Okay? But that's very important to understand and know that. Now let's move over here to chapter 14, okay, of Zechariah, same book, and it talks about this fountain of living waters, okay? Verse number 8. And it shall be in that day, once again, in that day means in the future, right? That living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea, right? Okay? In the summer and in the winter shall it be. And Yah, so Yah himself, shall be king over all the earth. In that day, in the future, right? Shall there be one God. It's just Yah, right? And his name one. So we're not going to be calling them by different things like we do today. Because some of these people, they pronounce the Most High's name in ways it's not supposed to be pronounced, like Yahuwah or Yahuwah and Yahweh and things like that. That's not how you say the name. He tells you how to say his name, okay? Psalm 68:4. It's just Yah. That's it. You have to keep on going through the Hebraic letters to figure that out. It's just Yah, man. All right? In order, right? Future. After these things happen, we're going to go to the book of Ezekiel 47. Go there in your Bible if you should have it open. Right there, Ezekiel 47. And it talks about these fountain of living waters again, right when the book opens up. Afterward, he brought me unto the door of the house, the third temple, and behold, waters issued out from under the threshold of the house eastward, okay? All right, so it's going to come out of the temple itself, okay? And it'll start out as a trickle when it comes out of the temple, and then it'll turn into this right here. It'll turn like into a big, gigantic river as it flows through Jerusalem, and as it told you, Zechariah, as it flows through to the Dead Sea and also over to the Mediterranean Sea, okay? And when it flows to those seas, it'll travel out to the rest of the world and heal all the oceans that people have polluted, okay? That are still polluted today from these, these different, oil platforms and all that, okay? All right, but that's what it'll look like. So go read Ezekiel 47 yourself. I'm not going to go over all that, okay? I'll go through just a little bit of it, okay? And it shall come to pass, this is verse 9 of Ezekiel 47. And it shall come to pass, right? Okay? That everything that liveth, which moveth whithersoever the river shall live. Because anything that touches the fountain of living waters, it comes alive, it lives, right? And there shall be a very great multitude of fish because of these waters, okay? Because it's going to heal the Dead Sea. There's going to be fish in the Dead Sea again, because there is no fish in the Dead Sea today, for all who, know that, have visited and have seen it, right? Okay? For they shall be healed, and everything shall live whither the river cometh. So whatever touches it is going to be healed, okay? And there's going to be all kind of vegetation and brand new fruit, as it tells you right here. Brand new fruit and everything like that that's going to come forth when this fountain of living waters flows through the land of Israel from the third temple, okay? And it's going to cause us, like I said, to have a different kind of a, medical type of program than what we have today. It's going to be very, very pure life, very pure life medicine, okay? Right from God himself. And that's going to cause us to have longer lifespans, okay? And that's what you read over in Isaiah, right? Chapter 65. So I'm in Isaiah chapter 65, okay, right now. Go there in your book. That's what's going to cause us to have these hundreds of years. Years so long that 100 years would be thought of as a child. So you know how you think of a child as being 3 or 4 years old as being a child's age? Well, during this time in the late great future, 100 years will be a child's age, because we're going to get lots of years, okay? Now I'm going to read, okay? Okay, there should be no more thence an infant of days, or an infant that has not lived out his days, right? Nor an old man that have not filled his days, right? For the child shall die 100 years old. I mean, that's in other words, that's going to be thought of as a child's age, 100 years old, right? But the sinner, being 100 years old, shall be accursed. In other words, if you die somewhere around 100, then the Most High is like, you're accursed, because that's going to be thought of as being a child's age, 100 years old, during that time in the future. That shall occur from this fountain of living waters that will come from the third temple being built. Okay? Now, verse 22 talks about us when we get back to the land, right? They shall not build and another inhabit, right? They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree, see, that's the key. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, okay? And mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. You see that? Okay? As the days of a tree. You know, a tree lives a long time, right? Hundreds of years, right? You can cut a tree down and see those rings, right? Tells you about how long the tree's been, planted, how long it's been alive, right? Okay? They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth trouble, for they are the seed, the blessed of Yah, and their offspring with them. Very important, because what does Yah tell you? Behold, he's going to create a new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. So we're not going to think about old things anymore. Okay, when these manifestations happen, when this third temple is erected, we're not going to worry about things like that anymore. Okay, it's going to be a new heavens and new earth, probably a new mindset. Okay, along with the brand new everlasting covenant that Yah is going to make with Israel, right? Okay, and the heathen just follows after the covenant. You know what I mean? So they just go by the laws we go by. Okay, whatever Yah sets out. But Yah tells us we're not going to teach no more about God no more. It ain't gonna be no more, do you know Yah? It ain't gonna be no more me making videos. He said everybody's gonna know me, from the least to the greatest, right? Okay? But these are the great things that Yah is gonna do in the future for all of us, okay? And it's not for anybody to try to monopolize or anything like that. It's just gonna be for the people, okay? Coming from Yah himself. Great things in the future, guys. Very, very great thing. He's going to make, he said, the land of Israel like the Garden of Eden. Okay? And not only that, in Joel, he talks about how he's going to cleanse our blood, right? That has not been cleansed, right? Right? In Joel 3:21. Okay? All right. Right there at the last verse. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed. For Yah dwelleth in Zion. See, all these things that come from this third temple being built are going to be magnificent things for the world, because our blood has not been cleansed, right? So you have cancer or diabetes or any of those bloodborne, lupus or anything like that. Those things are going to be able to be healed in the future by Yah himself, by us building this house right here, okay? That's the cure for cancer, and be the only cure, you know what I mean? And also cleaning up those diets, all right? So some great things that are going to happen in the future. Look forward to it, because it's going to happen when this house is erected. But before that house is erected, we're going to have a fountain open to the house of David, Zechariah 13, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. So very great things, okay? And your lifespans increased hundreds of years. Didn't say you live forever. It just says it'll be increased hundreds of years, okay? Because only Yah, the God of Israel, is forever. Humans don't live forever, okay? Get that through your head, guys, all right? All right, thank you guys for listening. Peace. Yah bless.